The siege in Big Sky country, watching and waiting from a distance in Montana, both sides bristling with guns. Tonight, 2 reports, including a look at the FBI's strategy. A new assault on Big Tobacco. Texas charges it's a criminal conspiracy and a pack of lies. And the new way Americans are slashing long-distance phone bills that has the long-distance companies talking to lawyers.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The standoff is now in its 4th day around the compound of a heavily armed anti-U.S. government hate group in Montana. They call themselves, quote, the Freemen. They say they do not obey the laws of the United States. Federal peace officers say these people are not just an isolated group. Federal investigations are underway into similar groups believed connected in at least 6 states. They are accused of trying to finance their racist, anti-Semitic, anti-American movement with millions of dollars in phony checks and threatening murder and mayhem against anyone challenging them. CBS News correspondent John Blackstone is covering the siege in Big Sky country.
With roadblocks and FBI patrols, the roads around the Montana ranch of the fugitives who call themselves Freemen were busy and at times tense today. Although what may have been guns were sometimes evident far in the distance, the FBI reported no arrests, no weapons seized. Federal authorities now say at least 10 fugitives are holding out on the remote ranch. They include 2 anti-government activists from Colorado and 3 men once apprehended in North Carolina, but on the loose again. Stephen Hance, his sons John and James are wanted for assaulting a police officer. But at least a half dozen of those in the compound have lived most of their lives in this county. Denham Hellier's cousin Ebert Stanton is on the ranch. The 2, both now 23, grew up together here.
Go to sleep and wonder what's going to happen. When I heard of the first raid, I really hoped it was him that they caught just to get him out of there.
Denham thinks it wasn't so much the Freemen's anti-government message as it was their promise of help to get out of financial trouble on the ranch that led Ebert to the Freeman meetings.
It's scary, really. And I don't know why he changed that much.
Ebert's wife, Val, is one of at least 3 women on the ranch, and Val's daughter, Mariah, now 5 years old, is the one child known to be there. Jill Hellier, another of Ebert's cousins, used to babysit Mariah.
That's what I worry about the most, because she's totally innocent.
Freeman leaders Leroy Schweitzer and Daniel Peterson were arraigned today in Billings, charged with 51 counts of financial fraud and 5 counts of threatening public officials. While some here in Garfield County simply want the FBI to clean out the rest of the Freemen on the ranch, there are also here many family members of those inside who are still praying for a peaceful end. John Blackstone, CBS News, Garfield County, Montana.
Federal agents are worried that this Montana siege could become a national cause for other hate groups. As correspondent Jim Stewart reports, they're trying to keep that from happening.
Looking to head off Freeman sympathizers and militia groups from aggravating the Montana standoff, FBI intermediaries today began meeting with militia representatives urging restraint. Professor Frank Ochberg of Michigan State is co-director of a crisis management group advising the Bureau, and he met first with the Michigan militia.
One of the ways we keep a lid on is to have the kind of conversation we're having now and explain to the American people that this is not a spectator sport.
Earlier this month, militia members rushed to a similar scene in Louisiana and were allowed to observe as FBI agents negotiated the surrender of a physician wanted on federal charges of failure to pay child support. In this case, however, the Bureau would like the militias to stay away altogether.
I would suggest to you that the plan is going to be wait them out, because I really don't see the FBI being the aggressor in this.
The new strategy was set in the aftermath of the siege at Waco, Texas, and a shootout with a family in Idaho. FBI Director Louis Freeh ordered the Bureau's hostage rescue team retooled and has dispatched its leader, Special Agent Robin Montgomery, to Montana. Meanwhile, intermediaries are looking for a third party to negotiate with the well-fortified Freemen.
What the government has to do is to say, okay, step out from those creature comforts and come forward and put yourself under the jurisdiction of a court that you say you don't believe in. That's going to take some smooth talking.
How well the new strategy works really depends on the Freemen. As long as they don't get violent, it appears certain the FBI won't either. One of the problems, however, is that the Freemen have frequently threatened violence and only last month attempted to order $1.4 million in ammunition and military gear. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
Texas today joined the legal battle against America's giant tobacco companies. The federal suit filed by the Lone Star State to recover billions in Medicaid dollars is unprecedented. Scott Pelley has our report.
The state of Texas charges the tobacco industry is a criminal enterprise engaged in racketeering and fraud. The case is based on a federal law normally used against organized crime.
The tobacco industry committed illegal acts, including federal mail fraud and wire fraud, violations of federal racketeering and conspiracy laws, and others.
The suit claims tobacco firms defrauded the public with the largest and most destructive campaign of corporate misinformation in U.S. business history. It alleges the companies used the mail and phone lines to disseminate what the suit calls lies, such as the claim that nicotine is not addictive. It is the first state suit to be filed under the RICO statute, the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act that was originally written to take on the mob.
Although they're not the mafia, they are committing serious criminal offenses.
Harvard law professor Lawrence Tribe is helping Texas with its suit.
This is not just negligence. It's not just people making a profit. This is people who have figured out how to sleep at night, even though they are deliberately deceiving the American public.
If Texas wins under RICO, it could ask a judge to stop specific company practices. One, according to the state attorney general, is marketing to children.
Leave our children alone.
Philip Morris, one company named in the suit, says the attorney general's legal theories have no support. The state's taxpayers should be deeply disappointed by this waste of the state's money. Texas joins 6 other states in filing suit. Now, with RICO in play, nearly every legal theory is being applied to turn up the heat on tobacco. Scott Pelley, CBS News, Dallas.
Congress gives Bill Clinton what many a president has coveted, a power that will dramatically change the way Washington works. That story is next. Also ahead, our investigation, Follow the Dollar. Who's paying for the Clinton re-election campaign? And later, a mystery in Florida. What's killing the manatees?
What's life like on all 8 cylinders? It's real simple. You get out what you put in. So I drink V8. It's not just great juice. It's great nutrition. A full serving of the vegetables I need to keep me running on all 8 cylinders. How many cylinders are you running on?
Hey, where's the kids?
Just you and me tonight.
And chicken marsala.
Your favorite.
Oh, but it gave me heartburn last time.
Not tonight.
But it's too late for Pepsid AC. The package says you've got to take it an hour before eating to prevent heartburn.
I know.
Why should I have to wait an hour to eat?
Forget that hour stuff. I got you Tangamid HB. Says it prevents heartburn in half the time.
So I can take it now and not get heartburn?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Tagamet HB, advanced prevention of heartburn in half the time.
An important day on Capitol Hill for what are 2 possibly historic measures. First, the Farm Bill. The Senate today approved legislation ending 60 years of farm subsidies and government controls over what farmers can plant. Quick passage is expected in the House, and President Clinton says he will sign it. Another measure approved today has been wanted by virtually every president since Ulysses S. Grant. But it is President Clinton who will get the chance to sign a bill giving the President of the United States a line-item veto. As correspondent Bill Plant reports tonight, this could tip the balance of power between Congress and the White House.
For years, the line-item veto was just another pie-in-the-sky idea, mostly on Republican wish lists.
Give us the same tool that 43 governors have, a line-item veto, so we can carve out the boondoggles themselves.
The line-item veto is essential, and I need it now.
Then Bill Clinton signed on.
If you'll give me the line-item veto, I'll remove some of that unnecessary spending.
And now, thanks to the new Republican majority, the line-item veto is about to change the balance of power between Congress and the President.
It will be the
most significant delegation of authority by the Congress to the President since the Constitution was ratified in 1789.
The line item veto will allow the President to delete specific items from spending bills without vetoing the whole bill, allow him to cancel new spending or increases for entitlement programs such as Medicare, and to strike out some tax breaks. Congress could only overturn a president's cuts by passing a new bill with enough votes to override a veto. The White House Chief of Staff was happy to point out what would not have survived the presidential cut.
$58 million worth of agricultural research, $70 million of unneeded military construction projects. Again, projects not requested, not needed by the military, but members putting them in on their own.
A former senator who's campaigning to balance the budget says the new law will cut both ways.
Line item veto has strengths in that it eliminates really foolish projects from spending. Its weakness is that a strong president could use it against the Congress to whipsaw them into doing something he wanted, holding that up as some sort of a threat. But understand one thing. The line item veto cannot in itself do much to balance the budget.
The line item veto takes effect in January, but who knows for how long. Congress had such doubts about giving up this much power that the law expires in 8 years. That is, if it survives an almost certain challenge in court. Bill Plant, CBS News, the White House.
5 Americans were killed in India today when a tour bus crashed and overturned. The bus was taking American students to the Taj Mahal when it went off the road. 4 students and the faculty spouse were killed. They were with an overseas study program of the University of Pittsburgh. In the Middle East, this was supposed to be the day Israel completed its withdrawal from the West Bank, fulfilling the first phase of the U.S.-backed peace deal. Instead, as correspondent Alan Pizzi reports, Israeli troops launched their biggest crackdown yet in the area supposedly under joint control with the PLO.
The operation began before dawn, a massive Israeli security swoop in an area supposedly under joint Israeli-Palestinian Authority. Nearly 400 Palestinians were arrested. The army said it was looking for people involved with terror groups, especially supporters of the radical Hamas movement.
The goal is to prevent terror, and we do believe that prevention is always better than cure.
But when students from nearby Ramallah heard about the raids, prevention became deja vu, a mini version of the Intifada with a twist. When the rocks began to fly, it was Palestinian police who were in the front line, caught between Israeli troops who didn't seem to want to back off and the anger of fellow Palestinians. All this came on a day that should have been a major milestone in the peace process. The Israelis were due to pull out of most of Hebron, the last major town they control on the West Bank. Instead, it looked like the days of the occupation, and the handover to Palestinian Authority has been delayed for at least 2 weeks. Palestinian leaders complain they are being used as pawns in the upcoming Israeli elections. While that may be overstating the case, security is a central issue in the campaign, and no Israeli politician is going to worry about unhappy Palestinians, no matter what that means to the peace process. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
Still ahead, the high-tech, low-cost way to reach out long distance.
She's been teaching here 2 years. Hasn't missed a day of work yet. Early last term, she was having these pains. She'd take a couple of Advil, do what she had to, but at the end of the day, they weren't enough. So I said, call your doctor. He told her about Aleve.
He said take it every 8 to 12 hours.
Fact is, at the end of the day, Aleve is stronger relief than a dose of Advil, longer lasting than extra strength Tylenol. It's like I say, keep your mind open and you'll learn something.
Aleve, all day strong, all day long.
America's invented as a hardware store, and it's reinvented every day. ServiceStar's Great American Fix-Up Month's going on right now all across the country. It's great prices on a lot of things that you need. We have Great American Fix-Up specials like these buys from Electrocord and First Alert at the lowest prices of the year. ServiceStar stores offer great service and great value, knowledgeable help. Hey, this is really worth the trip.
Kids ask what your dad does. Nobody ever asked me.
Richard, when your last name is Smucker and you live in Orville, everybody knows what your dad does.
These 2 Smuckers grew to make the jam their great-grandfather made, the same delicious way.
Everybody knows? Who?
told us.
For almost 100 years, the Smucker family has made it good. With a name like Smucker's, it has to be good. A busy airport with no radar, no lights, and no telephones.
This is every controller's nightmare.
The mid-air crisis you never knew about. 48 hours tonight.
What if we were to tell you you could save hundreds of dollars on your phone bill every month? It's not quite as easy as picking up the phone. You need a computer and some software. But then, as Edie Magnus explains, it's a cyber chat bonanza, person to person.
Yes. Yeah, Jeff, go ahead.
In Southern California, Rod Grimes chats for hours each day with his children Jeff and Jennifer deep in the heart of Texas.
Hey, did you get my box this morning?
Yeah, I got it. It's a picture of a cat right...
And what does it cost him to shoot the breeze long distance?
Once you've purchased your software and your minimal hardware, you're free.
That's right, free long distance using internet software. Rod's phone bill
Dropped about $300 a month, I'd say.
It was just a matter of time before somebody figured it out. The Internet, which connects computers the world over, allowing people to send written messages and data to one another, can handle voice transmissions as well. At least a dozen new products allow you to phone anyone, anywhere, for any length of time, all for the price of a local call to your Internet access provider.
I found this great piece of material.
Is that sort of just got a slightly raised gold decoration?
Across the Atlantic, importers Ray Dalton and his partner Dennis Minero find talk is cheap.
We save on the average of, I'd say, $1,000 to $1,200 each month.
There are drawbacks. You must have a fairly sophisticated computer setup. The phones require special soundboards and a microphone. And the person you're calling has to use the same phone product you do. And even then...
Hello, Ray. You there? Oh, we got a pretty horrible connection.
Today the quality is the kind of quality that only a hacker would put up with.
Tom Ebslin of AT&T may ridicule how these calls sound, but his company is now offering customers access to the Internet, even though AT&T knows people may use the service to avoid paying its own long-distance rate.
You can't hold back technology. So if there's a cheaper way to communicate, the important thing is that it comes from AT&T.
But other phone companies, angry over losing conventional long-distance business, are asking the FCC to regulate Internet phones. And if too many people start using computers to call long distance, local phone companies and Internet providers will no doubt begin charging more. And this year's free long distance could soon be a memory. Edie Magnus, CBS News, New York.
The shuttle Atlantis is separating tonight from the Russian space station Mir, partners in orbit for 5 days. The crew said their emotional goodbyes and wished one another well. The Atlantis is coming home without Shannon Lucid, the scientist and mother of 3 who'll be calling Mir home for the next 5 months.
Go ahead, Ron.
I just wasn't satisfied with my headache medicine. And my doctor told me about Arudis.
Of all the prescription pain medicines, 82% of doctors surveyed have prescribed Arudis, and now it's available in a non-prescription strength. Potent new Arudis KT. Just 25 milligrams is as effective as 400 milligrams of Motrin IB, 440 of Aleve, or 1,000 milligrams of extra-strength Tylenol.
Now for headaches, I've got Arudis KT.
New Arudis KT, the potent medicine for pain.
To build something that endures takes hard-working people. People who care. People with vision. And the strength to see the job through. We know. Since 1904, that's how we built a name for ourselves in financial services. Covidian. Insurance, credit, and retirement savings.
Do you hate your dandruff shampoo? Does it dry out your hair? Make it smell like medicine? Try Neutrogena Healthy Scalp for healthy-looking, shiny hair with no dandruff. Neutrogena Healthy Scalp for people who hate dandruff shampoo.
You can buy a pack of Tums at any candy store. For a stronger antacid tablet, you have to look elsewhere. Mylanta tablets, please. Fast-acting Mylanta. Now with calcium, the one tablet made stronger than all the rest.
Ma, if you can't sleep, take a Unisom. It helped last time. It's not habit forming.
Smile. It's okay to help yourself get a good night's sleep. All right? I love you too.
What's life like on all 8 cylinders? Try a little V8. It's not just great food, it's great nutrition. A full serving of the vegetables I need to keep me running on all 8 cylinders. How many cylinders are you running on?
He's made headlines all over the world. Now the suicide doctor speaks out. Dr. Jack Kevorkian in his own words. Tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
Follow the Dollar is the name we've given to a new series of investigations by the CBS Evening News, in which we will, from time to time, examine the relationship between politics and its mother's milk, money. Last night, we began with a look into who's giving the money for the Dole for President campaign. Tonight, correspondent Linda Douglas continues her investigation with a look at who's giving all that money to the Clinton campaign.
President Clinton knows Americans are fed up with the way special interest money influences politics. This year, he threw down a challenge to Congress.
To curb special interest influence in politics by passing the first truly bipartisan campaign finance reform bill in a generation.
But it's an election year, no campaign reform legislation yet. And in the meantime, the president has been out raising millions of dollars in huge contributions for himself and the Democratic Party. That would be prohibited by the very legislation the president has endorsed.
This is aggressive fundraising, and it is auctioning off the presidency of the United States.
Let's see those dollars. Where are those buckets?
A study by watchdog group Common Cause shows Mr. Clinton and the Democratic Party have raised $76 million in the last 4 years by exploiting a loophole in campaign financing laws. Here's the loophole. You can only give $1,000 to a presidential candidate, but you can give unlimited contributions to a political party. The party then uses that money to help your candidate. It's called soft money.
Soft money is dirty money. Soft money are huge, unlimited contributions that are laundered through the political party, and it's a scam.
But it's legal, and Mr. Clinton has collected it from some of the most powerful people in the country. Last month, the president shared a cozy dinner in this Malibu house with a dozen of his Hollywood contributors who've given the Democratic Party nearly $2 million in the last 4 years. Among them, music mogul David Geffen, $320,000. Studio head Jeffrey Katzenberg, $195,000. Movie maker Steven Spielberg, $200,000.
Morning, sir. How was the fundraiser?
The president was out jogging with Spielberg's wife after a $50,000 a couple fundraiser.
They have gotten in, and they've gotten their mitts into the most powerful man in America.
But some big contributors want more. San Diego attorney William LaRock, a powerful member of the Trial Lawyers Association and one of his law partners, gave the Democratic Party $500,000. 4 days after LaRock was wined and dined at the White House, the president vetoed legislation restricting certain kinds of lawsuits.
That's how the system works. Access is bought, and it's literally like a commodity.
A spokeswoman for the Clinton campaign claims the president often votes against the interests of his contributors. And she claims he does want to eliminate huge donations to political parties, but argues the Democrats will aggressively continue fundraising for their party as the Republicans will for theirs until the rules change. And right now, no one is trying very hard to change those rules. Linda Douglas, CBS News, Hollywood.
First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton called for religious tolerance today at a crossroad of world religions, Istanbul. At the 17th century Blue Mosque, the First Lady and daughter Chelsea wore slippers and scarves in keeping with Muslim tradition.
Take a good look through Transitions lenses. The lightweight plastic prescription lenses with a special tint that lightens and darkens as the light changes. Transitions lenses. Lightweight plastic lenses that darken and lighten just like that. It's comfort you can see, day or night, inside or outside. Ask for Transitions lenses and see for yourself. They're right in any light.
I hold in my hand the single most important invention in the history of lawn care. These are Miracle Grow time-release capsules, and this is Miracle Grow extra long-lasting lawn food that's guaranteed to keep your lawn greener longer. That's because it feeds two ways. A quick release for a fast green up and continuous time release for a beautiful green that lasts for months. Miracle Grow extra long-lasting lawn food will keep your lawn greener longer. Guaranteed.
Who has time for a healthy lunch? With Nestle Sweet Success,
No!
you do. Each low-fat Sweet Success shake has the protein of a chicken salad sandwich and more calcium than a cup of yogurt, plus the rich, luscious taste of the very best chocolate, Nestle. For delicious nutrition in no time, nothing succeeds like Nestle Sweet Success.
Patty, I got the wrong cheese.
Real Italian meals don't begin
What were you thinking?
without the Parmesan cheese that's always 100% Parmesan. No fillers. Kraft 100% grated Parmesan cheese. Now you can eat.
When your coffee break is 1 cup long, Maxwell House Filter Pack singles give you good to the last drop flavor. Fresh brewed every time. Wildlife officials in Florida insisted today that they're not panicking yet. Something is killing off the Sunshine State's endangered population of sea cows, better known as manatees. From the Florida Deep, Art Rascone reports.
They're called the gentle giants of the sea, large, harmless vegetarians. But this year, manatees are the victims of a relentless killer.
It's serious. It's real serious.
Microbiologist Scott Wright leads a team of scientists struggling to find out why so many manatees have died. Nearly 200 this year out of a population of some 2,600.
This is very much a detective story. A tough one to crack. It sure can be, and there's the unfortunate possibility that we won't find out what happened.
The manatees are dying at an amazing rate, more than 80 in the past 3 weeks. And if the pace continues, scientists fear the entire population of manatees along the southwest coast of Florida could be wiped out by the end of the year. Wildlife refuge workers spend their time dragging dead manatees to shore. On some days, they die so fast, examinations are performed near the water.
When you cut open a manatee like this, what is it you're going to look for?
We look for anything that's abnormal. We know what normal looks like, and we're looking for anything that's abnormal.
We've got a lot of fresh samples from freshly dead animals.
The cause of death lies somewhere in these blood samples, which are bottled, iced, packaged, and sent off for analysis every day. If scientists fail to solve the mystery in time, they say this endangered species could become extinct. Art Rascone, CBS News, St. Petersburg.
And that's part of our world tonight. An investigation of the nation's air safety system. Later tonight on 48 Hours. Here's Roberta Baskin with a preview.
A power blackout at one of the nation's busiest airports triggers chaos in air traffic control. But you never heard anything about it until tonight. In a 48 Hours exclusive, we'll tell you why it happened and how it could happen again.
Join us later tonight for 48 Hours. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. I'll see you later.
It's the Taj Mahal of government buildings, estimated to cost $2 billion. And you thought they were shrinking government. Time for a reality check tomorrow on the CBS
Derby, a race pitting men against the horse. And at 5:30, a casino night. All to benefit the Oregon Cancer Centers and the Candlelighters of Oregon. For more information, call 285-9144.
You bet you win, and